Hello friends, welcome you all to this session on non-constitutional bodies. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the NDMA, which is nothing but the National Disaster Management Authority. So in this video, what is the content? We'll be studying about the establishment of NDMA, and next we'll be studying about the composition, who are present there and how it is functioning, and next about the important functions of NDMA. And finally, we'll be studying about the SDMA, which is nothing but the State Disaster Management Authority, and also about the District Disaster Management Authority. So this is the content of this video. So first we'll start from the establishment. How is this NDMA formed as a body, as a non-constitutional body? So what happened is, before this Gujarat earthquake, there was no such issues, there were no concerns about this disaster management from the government. But after the Gujarat earthquake, the government felt that there should be something addressed for this disaster management. So after the Gujarat earthquake, in 2001, a National Committee on Disaster Management has been formed by the central government, by that ruling government at that time in 2001. After that, just a committee was being formed, not a body and all, just a committee is there. After 2004 tsunami, the great loss for India. So after that tragic incident of tsunami, government felt that there should be a body or institution which should spearhead and implement the disaster management. That is the, a dire need of the country. That's the incident which the government felt it is very important. So that's why in 2005 an act has been formed, which is nothing but the Disaster Management Act. Disaster Management Act 2005. So this act has been passed in both houses of the parliament and got its president's assent. So this is the Disaster Management Act 2005. So based on this act, a section of this act forms the establishment of your National Disaster Management Authority. Via this act, this body, NDMA, as a non-constitutional body has been formed. So what is the type of this NDMA, whether it is statutory or non-statutory? Initially, when this NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, is formed, it was a non-statutory. It was not a statutory, it was a non-statutory. Later, it was given a recognition and it was added in the act. So now it is deriving its power from an act. That's why it is called a statutory non-constitutional body. So that is the how this NDMA has formed as a whole. So what is the main function or motto of this National Disaster Management Authority? Okay, about the disaster and all we'll see in the later parts. Finally, when I'm closing this lecture, I'll talk about a basic thing about disaster, what is mitigation, what is hazards. Those things we'll deal in the final when I'm closing this chapter. But now understand one thing: the main function or motto of this NDMA is to spearhead and implement a conclusive disaster management plan. Okay, when a disaster is happening, what should be done? A solution should be there. How we are mitigating that hazard or a disaster. Before a disaster is happening also, we should be ready to tackle such disaster. If now a flood is coming, before that also, before a flood is occurring, we should be ready to inculcate that flood. After post that flood or tsunami, whatever disaster is happening also, we should be in a position to handle that situation. So that is the main motto. Pre and post of disaster, there should be a pre-plan. That is the main function or motto of this NDMA. So that is about the establishment. Now about the composition. Okay. So another one important point, this NDMA comes under which ministry? This comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs. That is one point here. So now we'll talk about the composition. What is the composition? So this NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, NDMA consists of one chairperson. One chairperson. Who is the chairperson? Chairperson is nothing but the Prime Minister of India. He is the ex officio chairperson. Ex officio means what? He is the Prime Minister of India. Because of that position, Prime Minister of India, he is automatically, by default, he becomes the chairperson of another committee. That is the ex officio. Okay. So, Prime Minister of India is the ex officio chairperson of this NDMA. So, what about the other members? There are also other members, but not exceeding 9. Okay. Not exceeding 9. That is the member. So, one chairperson and other members of NDMA not exceeding 9. So, how are these members chosen? These members are nominated by the Prime Minister. Okay. These members are nominated by the Prime Minister. So, that is about the members. And this chairperson of NDMA, who is nothing but the Prime Minister of India, he can designate any one member as the vice chairperson. Okay, so the composition is chairperson, who is the Prime Minister of India, and other members not exceeding 9, nominated by the Prime Minister, who is the chairperson of NDMA, and it also consists of a vice chairperson who is designated by the Prime Minister from amongst the members. So that is the composition of this NDMA. So that is NDMA composition. Next we will study about the important functions of NDMA. We know the motto is to, main motto of NDMA is to not, if a disaster is happening, how we are tackling that. That is the main motto. But what are the important functions within that? That we'll study now. So now we will deal about the main functions of this NDMA. So what are the functions? The first function is about the policies. So this NDMA is responsible for formulating policies and guidelines for the national disaster. Okay, so when regarding a national disaster, it has all the powers to formulate a policy and guidelines. That is the main function and important function. So that is about the policies. Next, about a national plan. Okay, so what is a national plan? If there is a disaster, okay, if there is an earthquake or tsunami, something has happened as a disaster. So what the central government will do is, the central government will come up with a national plan. Central government with this concerned ministries will come up with a national plan. What can be done? So this plan, the so-called national plan, will get the sanction from this NDMA. Okay, after getting sanction from this NDMA only, it can proceed further. So that is the national plan. So this NDMA has all the power to sanction or approve the national plan prepared by the concerned ministry. That is about the national plan. Next, about the guidelines. Okay, so this both has a relation. So national plan has been formed by the concerned ministries of central government. It comes to NDMA. NDMA approves it. So after that NDMA, what it does is, this NDMA will share the guidelines and policies how to implement the national plan, not only approving. Okay, NDMA is responsible for the implementation of the national plan also. So how it will implement? It will say all the SDMA, State Disaster Management Authority. Okay, it will give guidelines to all the state governments via this SDMA. So that is about the implementation part, guidelines. So that is about the guidelines. Next is about the recommendation. What it will recommend? This NDMA has all the powers to recommend the funds or provisions for mitigation. For mitigation, we need some funds. For that, a voice will be given by the NDMA as a recommendation. That is about the recommendation part. Next, about the NIDM. What is NIDM? NIDM is nothing but the National Institute of Disaster Management. National Institute of Disaster Management. This institute is located in New Delhi. So what this institute will do is, what this NDMA has a role in NIDM is, first we'll talk about NIDM, National Institute of Disaster Management. What will be done in that institute is about the human resource. Okay, it is about the research. What they will do about the research, if any disaster is going to happen, they will predict that, and it is a full-fledged body or institute on research and development regarding disasters. That is a simple process. So this NIDM, what NDM has a role in NIDM is, this NDM will propose guidelines or policies to NIDM. So it has that power or link with the NIDM. Next, about the NDRF, National Disaster Response Force. Okay, National Disaster Response Force. So you would have seen in news and all, if there is a flood or if there is a cyclone, so this NDRF team will land there and they will rescue the people. So this NDRF comes under the full supervision of this NDM. Okay, so National Disaster Response Force comes under the supervision of this NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority. So that is about the NDRF. So one thing we note here, this NIDM is pre. Okay, this NIDM, National Institute of Research, National Institute for Disaster and Management. This is like a before happening of a disaster, they will research. They will do a research, and NDRF is a post after happening of disaster. This NDRF team will help. So both is in the under the provisions or supervision of this NDMA. That is about the two things. And next, about the emergency provision. What is emergency provisions? So if something has happened in a very large scale, okay, many people have affected and many life has been lost. If emergency situation happens like that, then the concerned ministries will come up with a plan. Okay, for this emergency position, how to tackle this emergency position at instantly, there should be a plan. So that plans will be approved by this NDMA. Such emergency provisions will be approved by the NDMA. That role also they are playing in. That is about the emergency provision. Next, finally, about the annual report. As like we have discussed about other non-constitutional bodies also, same like that, NDMA has also the powers to present an annual report to central government, which will be later presented in the both houses of the parliament. So what will be there in the report? About the actions taken and recommendations. Those recommendations are not binding on the government, but still the report will be presented in the house of the parliament. So that is about the functions. We have talked about two things: National Institute of Disaster Management and National Disaster Response Force. These two are quite important, so don't confuse between them. So this is about the main functions of NDMA. So next we will talk about the State Disaster Management Authority. So far we have talked about the NDMA, which is nothing but the National Disaster Management Authority. Now we are going to talk about the SDMA, State Disaster Management Authority. So this, how is the establishment of this SDMA, whether it is statutory or non-statutory body? This SDMA is formed as a part of Disaster Management Act 2005. Section 14 of DMA Act 2005 prescribes the formation of establishment of this SDMA. So this SDMA is also a statutory body because it has a law backing. So that is the clearance. Okay. So what is the main function of SDMA? What is the difference? NDMA is for national and SDMA is for a state level. That is the only difference. So now we'll see about the composition of SDMA. So there is nothing different in the composition also. Same like your NDMA only. That is one chairperson. So who is the chairperson here? Obviously chairperson will be the state chief minister. And other members not exceeding 9. Okay, not exceeding 9 members are also present. So in this 9 members, okay, not exceeding 9, that's what I'm saying. Out of this 9 members, defaultly one member, okay, defaultly one member will be the chairperson of State Executive Committee, SEC. Okay, chairperson of this State Executive Committee will be the one of the member of this SDMA. So what is this State Executive Committee? There is something also called NEC, National Executive Committee. Okay, so what is this NEC and SEC? So when I'm talking about the functions of NDMA, I told one thing. This NDMA has all the powers to accept or approve the national plan, something called national plan. I told this national plan is prepared by the central government. Okay, so that is the role of this NEC and SEC. What happens is this national plan, so-called national plan, is prepared for the national level by the NEC and for the state level as a plan by the SEC. Okay, so who are present in this NEC and SEC? In NEC, actually the members present are the secretary level officers of Government of India of all the ministries are present in NEC, and with respect to SEC, secretary level of all the ministries in the state government. That is the difference between NEC and SEC. So mainly NEC and SEC is concerned about the preparation of national plan, and the national plan prepared by these two bodies are approved by the NDMA. That is the role here. So the SEC's chairperson, okay, SEC's chairperson default become the member of SDMA. That is one point, and remaining 8 members are nominated by the chairperson, who is nothing but the chief minister of respective states. There is also one vice chairperson. This vice chairperson is designated among these 9 members. Okay, among these 9 members, your chairperson will designate one member as the vice chairperson. That is about the composition of SDMA. So one thing very clear, SEC. Okay, the chairperson of SEC becomes the default member of the SDMA. That is one difference between your NDMA and SDMA. In NDMA, we didn't study like that. There are just 9 members plainly. But here, among the 9 members, one member should be the chairperson of SEC, which is nothing but the State Executive Committee, which is responsible for drafting the state plan. So that is about the SDMA. And what is the function? Same functions what we discussed with respect to NDMA. In NDMA, we have talked about the national level and what all the functions are same for this SDMA, but only difference is it is only for the concerned state. That is the difference. So with that, we will go to the DDMA, which is nothing but the District Disaster Management Authority. So far we have discussed about the NDMA and SDMA. Now we will discuss about the DDMA, which is nothing but the District Disaster Management Authority. Okay, that is the DDMA. And how is the establishment of DDMA? As per the Disaster Management Act, DMA 2005. As per the Act, every state, okay, every state has to establish a DDMA. That is the responsibility of a state as per the DMA Act 2005. So that is one thing. So what is about the composition? This composition is very important because there is a slight difference between the composition of NDMA, SDMA with when you are comparing with DDMA. There is a slight difference. Okay, there is one chairperson, same like your NDMA and SDMA chairperson. Okay, who is the chairperson? With respect to NDMA, your Prime Minister. With respect to SDMA, it is your Chief Minister. With respect to DDMA, it is the Collector of the district. Collector is the chairperson. One thing. And about the members, not exceeding 7. Okay. In NDMA and SDMA, we have talked about the members not exceeding 9. But here the difference is not exceeding 7. That is one main difference. So that is about the members. So next about the co-chairperson. So who is the co-chairperson of DDMA? Okay, there are three classifications. In normal situations, in normal areas, what happens is the elected representatives of local government. Okay, that is local government chapters will be studying later about Panchayat Raj and municipalities. Okay, so the elected representatives of this local government becomes the co-chairperson of this DDMA. That is one thing. If it is a tribal area, if there is a tribal area, there is also a separate chapter on tribal area that we will discuss. Okay, if there is a tribal area, there is something called autonomous district. Okay, there is something called autonomous district. The chief executive member of the council of this autonomous district, okay, the chief executive member of the council of this autonomous district will become the co-chairperson of this DDMA in case of tribal area. Okay, if it is a Silla Parishad, if it is Silla Parishad, then the chairperson of this Silla Parishad will become, default he will become the ex officio co-chairperson of DDMA. Okay, so there are three things. In normal areas, the elected representatives of local government becomes the co-chairperson of DDMA. If there is a tribal area, then the chief executive member of the autonomous district will become the co-chairperson of DDMA. If it is Zilla Parishad, then the chairperson of Zilla Parishad will default ex officio become the co-chairperson of DDMA. Okay, so that is about the thing, and that is also CEO, Chief Executive Officer. Okay, Chief Executive Officer, CEO of DDMA. That CEO will be appointed by the state government. There is also one more point, not more than 2, okay, not more than 2 members of this DDMA can be appointed by the state government. Okay, that is the limitation. Not more than 2 members cannot be appointed by the state government. Okay, so the CEO is appointed by state government. Apart from that, they can appoint only any other members. One members can be appointed by state government. Apart from that, the powers is resting with the chairperson, which is the collector. Okay. So that is one thing, CEO. So what is the CEO of SDMA? Who is the CEO of SDMA? The CEO of SDMA is nothing but the chairperson of the SEC, State Executive Committee. Okay, the chairperson of SEC, State Executive Committee, becomes the default member of the SDMA told. Okay, he is also default become the CEO of the SDMA. So that is one thing. So I think we are clear about the composition of DDMA. So now about the functions of DDMA, same as the functions we discussed for NDMA and SDMA, same functions belong to the DDMA also. With respect to only one difference is this DDMA functions are respective to that district alone. Another one point is that we have talked about the members. The members of DDMA cannot be exceeding the 7. Okay. So who are these members? Who will become the members? One, the CEO of DDMA, who is nothing but appointed by the state government. That CEO will become the default member of this DDMA, and also the SP, Superintendent of Police of the respective district, will also become member of DDMA, and also Chief Medical Officer, CMO of that district, will also become the default member of this DDMA. So police is there and medical is also there. Okay, so they are responsible for when disaster is happening, both the law and also the medical department should come in place. That's why they have included these three as the member of the DDMA. So that is about the composition. When you are comparing about the composition of NDMA and SDMA, both are almost similar. Okay, but when come to DDMA, there are more changes here because one first change is members restricted to only 7, and also about we are talked about a co-chairperson. In normal areas, tribal areas and Zilla Parishad, it differs, and also the members, these three becomes the default members of this DDMA commission. And also there is one more point, state government cannot appoint more than 2 people for this DDMA. Okay, so that is with respect to DDMA. Functions are similar with respect to the NDMA and SDMA. So that is about the DDMA. So we have discussed about NDMA, SDMA and DDMA. So now we will understand some basic thing. Okay, so what is this disaster? What is a disaster? What is the definition given in the Act? As per the Disaster Management Act 2005, what is the definition given? What is the definition given in the Act? Disaster is nothing but a catastrophe or a mishap or a great calamity, okay, occurring in a specific area or a large area due to man-made or natural hazards. Okay, due to natural or man-made hazards. From that we can understand one thing, hazards are of 2 types. One is natural and man-made. So what are natural? You can classify cyclone under natural, and you can classify tsunami also under that. and floods, mainly floods, and earthquake you can include, and also you can include landslides also. So these cyclone, tsunami, floods, earthquake and landslides comes under the natural hazard. So what is a man-made? Man-made can be chemical, it can be nuclear, and it can be also biological. Chemical, nuclear, biological comes under the man-made hazards. So these are the hazards. Now what is that talking in the disaster definition as per the DMA Act 2005. Okay. So after hazard is happening, we can also talk about a mitigation. What is mitigation? Mitigation is nothing but the act of reducing the impact or the effect. Okay. Reducing the act of impact is known as the mitigation. So with respect to NDMA, there are many programs or steps taken by this NDMA towards this mitigation. Okay. So those things we also discuss. One is the MRDS, which is nothing but the mobile radiation reduction system. Mobile radiation reduction system. So these systems will be given to all the respective states and districts to identify and protect the radiological hazards. If there is any radiological hazard, this will detect that, and so that you can prevent the people from the hazards. That is the main function of this mitigation, to reduce the impact. So that is one among MRDS. And next is the LRMS, which is the landslide risk mitigation system. Okay, landslide risk mitigation scheme, actually LRMS. So that is to mitigate the landslides. We also have something called FRMS, which is the flood risk mitigation scheme. Flood risk mitigation scheme. We also have NEMRS, which is nothing but the National Earthquake Risk Mitigation Project. Okay, National Risk Mitigation Project. So these are the mitigation steps or schemes or project taken forward by the NDMA. So this is the work functioning of the NDMA. So we have talked about the hazards and also about the mitigation steps taken by this NDMA. So now we all have a doubt. Okay, after this COVID-19, we all know our life has been changed. Okay, so this pandemic, whether this pandemic comes under the definition of disaster with respect to DMA Act 2005, yes. This pandemic is also classified as disaster under definition of disaster as per Act DMA 2005. But during this lockdown also, when this COVID-19 started, you could have noticed one thing. Whenever this lockdown or unlock one, lockdown 1, 2, 3, 4 and unlock 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever guidelines issued by Ministry of Home Affairs, you could have seen only the Act NDMA, okay, NDMA Act 2005. Only that Act has been prescribed everywhere. But there is one special act, especially for this pandemic, to tackle this pandemic. That act is known as the Epidemic Disease Act 1897. Epidemic Disease Act 1897. This act has been, from the year you could have known one thing, 1897. So it is established in the British period. This act has been formulated during the British period to tackle a emergency pandemic disease time. Okay. But this Epidemic Disease Act has not been mentioned in any guidelines of the government. The only reason is, when you take this Epidemic Disease Act and if you look into this act, you could have seriously note one thing. State governments has been given more powers in this act. Okay, state governments has been given more powers in this act. That's why the government is not using this act. Either it is using the NDMA Act. Okay, because this pandemic comes under the definition of disaster as per this DMA Act. That's why this is DMA Act is given in all the notification from the Home Ministry. So I wanted to clarify this point because there is a separate act called Epidemic Disease Act 1897, but government didn't use that act. Instead, it used the DMA Act, Disaster Management Act 2005. Okay, because this pandemic is included in the definition of disaster, that's why government went with this DMA. Also, this Epidemic Disease Act gives more power to the state government. Either the government choose this DMA Act for this all the guidelines. Okay, so as per this act only, the central government came up with something called the national plan, which was approved by NDMA and given to all the SDMAs as the plan. We had all the guidelines, no? Like the shops cannot be opened, 21 days lockdown. So everything is called as the national plan, which is approved by the NDMA. So that is the present scenario. So with that, I am closing this lecture. We have talked about NDMA, SDMA and DDMA. Regarding this lecture, the composition is very important. Okay, with respect to your prelims UPSC, the UPSC is concerned about the composition. Okay, about the composition of NDMA, SDMA and DDMA and what are the main functions. That is the important takeaway from this lecture. So we will meet in the next lecture. Thank you.